This compound on the Thai-Myanmar border is known as KK Park. Thousands of people were believed to be held inside, many of them trafficked from overseas and forced to work as scammers.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a human trafficking issue that is happening right now in Myanmar. Now, what happens is these people from all around the world, many countries in Africa, in Indonesia, in China, they apply for jobs that they believe are going to be in Thailand. They fly to Thailand, but then when they arrive, they're driven across the border into Myanmar, and then their passport is taken and they're forced to work long 16, 17-hour days scamming people. And it's just an inhumane situation. The way they're treated, they're beaten. It's just human slavery. Now, before I begin, please consider liking and subscribing. And let's go back to the video and see what happens.
Gavesh from Sri Lanka was one of them.
It was very scary inside. I never thought that I will come out alive.
Gavesh, not his real name, thought he'd had landed the perfect job on Facebook in 2022.
Could be a tech job, or could be a customer service job, a marketing job. But the basic idea is you'll be working in a call center type location, a modern building. Pictures are, look good, look professional. The company name is listed. There's a salary that seems attractive but not crazy.
Wow, you can see that even the job description, they have age requirements. They are saying you're gonna get like $1,300, I'm guessing, per month with commission. $1,300 is a lot of money for, if you're not living in America, it is a lot of money. Many people don't make that much, so it is a enticing offer. So I understand why many people go there, because especially if you speak English, even basic English, you can succeed. So it's a trap from the beginning. Once they were freed, thousands were freed recently, but the Chinese ones are getting locked up when they arrive in China. We're going to look at that because the Chinese are treating them as criminals even though they are victims. But let's go back to the video. We're going to look at all those.
In August that year, Gavesh flew to Bangkok. He was picked up and driven to Mae Sot, about 500 kilometers away on the Thai-Myanmar border. When the car stopped, the nightmare began.
There were like 10 Thailand people who gathered around the car, and they took our luggages and they were like, come, let's follow, go. Like they also can't speak English. They were like rushing us.
A boat took them across a small river. There, Gavesh was taken to a compound and made to wait in an office.
I looked like a pig at that time because we were walking through a paddy field for about 1 kilometer. I had mud onto my knees.
He had no idea he was in Myanmar, but
I knew that something is wrong because that place had huge walls and surrounded by barbed wires, high security. The armed guys, looks like they were not talking to us. They will definitely shoot us if we run.
They took his phone and passport, and for the next 6 months, he was forced to text victims in the US, Japan, Taiwan, gain their trust, and get them to part with their money.
I mean, this story made me, I don't know, feel kind of weird, because normally when I get those scam calls or you get those emails, sometimes I just, reply very angrily or whatever, but it turns out they might actually be victims of human trafficking on the other side of it. But it's just sad, like how they are tricked. They thought they were going to work legitimate jobs. Now they're tricked. Some have to buy their freedom. It's depressing what this world can be.
A large drum in the office sounded whenever someone invested $100,000 or more in their crypto scam.
Every time that drum hits, that we knew, okay, some guy in the world has lost that guy's money. Some woman in the world has lost their money. They are celebrating, but it's a loss for that guy or a girl.
Satellite images show KK Park growing. from a few buildings among rice fields in 2020 to a small city by 2024. Gavesh says they worked 16-hour days in the office.
We were actually prisoners. We had a timetable for everything. While working, you can't cross the legs, you can't yawn, you can't talk to other people, you can't sing, you can't whistle, nothing. It was dead silent, and they played loud music because we had to work in nighttime, and because people are getting sleepy, I think they put loud music.
Others have suffered worse.
We're talking about electrocution, we're talking about torture, we're talking about threats of deadly violence, we're talking about watching other people be beaten, and we're talking about threats of being sold into prostitution in the case of women, or threats of having organs removed.
Gavesh says he was sold 3 times.
If you don't perform, they sell you to a different Chinese boss. It's like I'm an item. They sell me as a package. They're selling me with all my belongings. They ask us to take our computer, take our chair, and then you go.
Thousands of people have been released and sent home in recent weeks as China, Thailand, and Myanmar authorities crack down on scam syndicates. Gavesh paid his way out in 2023, a ransom of nearly $2,000 saved up from his wages at KK Park.
When I stepped out from the vehicle in Bangkok, it was like, thank God I came alive. That was the moment that I after so many months, that I felt really good.
Okay, so that person managed to, pay their freedom. Others were recently, rescued by the military. Now they are being taken to Thailand so that their respective governments can take them back home. But Thailand doesn't want to take everybody immediately because they don't want to have them stranded all in Thailand. So they're taking them little by little based on arrangements by different governments. But what's happening is now the first batch that is in Thailand, they were sitting so many people, thousands of people, that they were being forced to even share a bathroom, like 60 people sharing a bathroom, and they're starting to get sick, starting to get TB and other sicknesses because, it's so crowded in a room waiting to be sent back to their countries. It's bad. It's really bad. Let's look at these other reports.
Many have been trafficked and horribly mistreated. When asked, nearly all want to go home. Last month, Thailand cut fuel and power to the scam compounds, forcing their militia allies to start freeing the workers. This group was pushed over the narrow river on a raft and taken in by the Thai army. Hundreds of Chinese workers have already been flown home, though they were clearly being treated as criminals, not victims.
You see, in China, once they land in China, they're taken in handcuffs, going to jail now as criminals, when in reality they are victims. But I guess every country has their rules because, that's clearly inhumane. These people have been slaves in another country. Now they come back home in handcuffs. But that's what can you say? What can you do, really?
But the flow of evacuees to Thailand has now stopped. I spoke to Mike, an Ethiopian stranded in Myanmar, with 400 others who've escaped.
The conditions we are in is very hard. We are sleeping on the floor. The toilets are very messed up by now. I just want to go home. I just want to go back to my country. That is all I'm asking.
For years, Thailand has been accused of doing too little to stop compounds like the one behind me from running their fraud and human trafficking scams. Well, now Thailand has started to act, forcing the armed militias over the border to free thousands of trapped workers. And yet it seems no one has thought through how to move so many people from so many countries back here to safety and back to their own homes. For the moment, Thailand is reluctant to bring over more if their own governments aren't ready to fly them home.
Unfortunately, we are hearing distressing information about lack of sanitations and toilets. Many of them were actually screened for TB and were positive for TB. We're hearing from them that they're coughing up blood. Our worry is that we're not engaging fast enough, and these people are actually basically suffering while they're waiting.
And you see, there is many army also in this area. So if they will find me,
It's very dangerous. We met Aryan, a young Bangladeshi man who escaped from a notorious compound last October. He's come back to try to free 17 friends who are still there. He describes a brutal regime with frequent electric shock torture.
their rule is very hard. They have the target every week $5,000. If no, give 2 electric shock, bamboo. That's
2 electric shocks.
Yeah. Every week we need to earn for them $5,000.
How many people did you scam
It's like
in the 3 months you were there?
many people.